Yo, people, we back again. I know you missed us. We were going for a bit in it. Had to hibernate real quick, man. Cause hey, today was the big day, man. Last day of the season. You know them ones. A lot of drama, man. Let's get straight into it. But before we get straight into it, you know the usuals. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your people. You know them ones there. Gotta make the channel grow. You know what I'm saying? So let's start. Hey, let me give it to you guys. Where do you guys want to start? What's the first game you guys want to start with?
It's
Top
got to be
four. Let's
Leicester,
get straight
innit?
into top four.
Yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
Start with
Let's
Gotta be
let's
Leicester.
because
Gotta be
there was
Leicester.
talk about Leicester. Let's talk about them being bottle jobs and stuff. Okay, if you're living under a rock, Leicester lost 4-2 to Spurs, and they were 2-1 up at one point as well. So that's a very disappointing thing. To be honest, Leicester weren't that good in the game anyway. Scored two penalties. Vardy was very dangerous, but before we get on to the whole topic of Brendan Rodgers and Spurs, no, Tottenham, what am I saying? Leicester bottling it. Let's just give our thoughts on the game. Who watched the game anyway? Because I know there were so many games. Anybody watch the game?
a little bit.
watched
Not
it,
too much.
but
Not
not
too
Yeah, I
the
much.
watched
full
the
game.
game.
I caught the ending of it.
Let me start with Ori first. What was your thoughts on the game?
From the bits I saw, yeah, I don't think Spurs really played any, reasonable amounts of football in the game. So it should have been quite easy for Leicester to go ahead and win the game. And I don't think Spurs really had anything they were fighting for. If anything, Spurs would probably have been trying not to even make the European Conference League because no one wants to be in that. So for them to even still, play like they had more on the line than Leicester is just quite embarrassing, to be fair. And then Leicester ended up having two penalties. So, without those penalties, that means they couldn't even score a goal from open play and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's just very, I've had a lot of talk about Rodgers, and I've literally, never really, rated him maybe as much as many people do. People say he's, good or great. I've always just seen him as an average guy ever since Liverpool. I just can't see him differently. I respect what he's done at Leicester and stuff like that. Winning the FA Cup was quite good. Tuchel, although I know Chelsea should have probably won that, but yeah, I give him credit for that. But to be in the Champions League spaces for so long, and then when it actually comes to when you need to step up and you keep on doing the same thing, and this is not the first time. And even when he was in Liverpool, when he was going to win the title, they drew 3-3 to Crystal Palace. As a manager, you just can't have those many, bottle job scenarios in your career, or else it's just very suspicious of how you'd move forward and that. So in terms of Leicester, yeah, I mean they'll play Europa football next season. They probably wouldn't win it again like this season. And maybe they would, it's looking like the same cycle kind of for them. Yeah, I don't really predict them to have a very good season next season, to be fair. But I would like to obviously wait to see the signings they bring in and the players that go out and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we just have to be patient in terms of that.
I hear that, man. What about you, Dan? You watched the game. What was your thoughts on the game?
Disappointing from Leicester. I think they at the end they got desperate. It wasn't a 4-2 game in terms of Spurs. I don't think Spurs played well, really. I think Leicester kind of threw the kitchen sink at them at the end, and Spurs got two more goals than right at the end. But obviously, it's very disappointing. Very disappointing for Leicester, especially considering Chelsea lost as well to Aston Villa. They effectively, it was handed to Leicester on a silver platter, and they fumbled it. But I think everyone knew this was going to happen, though. No one really expected Leicester to get top four, especially when the running. Everyone saw their running was Man United, Chelsea, and Spurs. Everyone knew they weren't going to get top four with that running, and I think for people saying that they bottled it, of course, the 100% they bottled top four, but I don't think this has been a bad season for them. I don't think it's something they should be ashamed of or something that they should be kind of laughed at and mocked, because I don't think Leicester are right there yet. I think people get a bit excited about Leicester because they're the underdogs of the top 6, so they get away with a lot more than every other team. And if we're being honest, Leicester's squad past their first team is very poor, very, very poor. Like the midfield options, they've got Pratt, Chowdhury, and Mendy. They're awful. Like they're bottom half players, if that. And up front, like Barnes was injured, and they had Mark Albrighton. Come on, like, and especially when you're playing in Europe, like I think if they don't make big investments towards bringing more players into the squad, I think they'll struggle. And that's what they've done this year. By getting eliminated in the Europa early. So Leicester is to be expected with the squad that they have. The first team is obviously good, but past that they haven't really got much. And as for Rodgers,
we're gonna get into him. We'll get into him. Don't worry, we'll get into him.
Cool. We'll get into Rodgers.
Yeah, my thoughts on the game. I praise him up a lot the last couple of weeks, Michael. But when you do shit, you got to be honest with them and say, you're poor. He was really at fault, especially for the third goal, man. That was shocking, man. So he's been so consistent for them, and then for when it really mattered most, obviously he showed up for the FA Cup as well. But that game was so important. Sorry, and it was a poor performance by him, big time. Let's go into the Rodgers and the bottle job thing. People say, Daniel was saying that what's it called? They weren't expected to get top 4. We agree with that. We all agree with that. But my thing is there's expectation and then there's reality. Expectation wise, you weren't.
Bottle job implies that you had it all in front of you. You had everything to do it.
I don't think they're bottle jobs. I don't think they're bottle jobs. Wait, one sec.
Okay.
No, one sec. What's it called? Leicester's expectation wasn't to get top 4, but they were in a position where they should have got top 4, and that's where I'm like, I can't give you that leeway, innit? It's not like you were chasing. You might have gone in front and then you got pegged back. This was a thing where you were in control for the major majority of the season, and you've lost it. Obviously, in that sense, I'm still not going to criticize Rodgers massively because you've still done a great job. This result doesn't taint what you've done. You get what I'm saying? There can be a multiple of truths. You get what I'm saying? So the reality is, let's have bottom top 4, but Rodgers has still done well.
Is it fully their fault though? Like, because deep it. As I said before, their squad's not that deep, and they've got a lot of injuries. And Liverpool, people have allowed Liverpool to write off this season and be very, very poor this season with the excuse of they had injuries.
Thank you. Liverpool finished third place.
Liverpool finished third place. Wait, let me land. Liverpool were awful this season, and people allowed them to get away with that because they had injuries. But my point is, Leicester don't have Thiago and Jota to bring off the bench. So when these guys are injured, how can you really expect Brendan Rodgers to be getting top 4 with Albrighton starting? Come on, really? Albrighton and Pratt and Chowdhury. Come on.
No, what you're saying, that makes a lot of sense. It actually does make sense. But the reality is, they were still in control. You know what I'm saying?
They were, but with the injuries they had, it definitely made the task a lot harder. Like, you can't expect to go away to Man United, Spurs, and Chelsea, and with half your team injured and win. Come on, like
half the team wasn't injured. The last 3 games, half the team wasn't injured.
Harvey Barnes is one of their best players this year. He was out. Evans was out the last game. What's his name was out. James Justin's been out. Pereira's in and out. Like, it's a bit of a mishmash, isn't it?
All right, let's go around Ore, and then I'm going to come to Carl after. So yeah, go.
Literally, when the whole Super League thing was happening and stuff like that. So Leicester are a very tricky side because when Leicester are doing well, that's when everybody goes, oh, they're there to replace Arsenal and Spurs. They're there to replace Arsenal and Spurs. Then when Leicester are doing poorly, people now go, oh, they're not really that. No one really expected that from them. So we can't keep on giving them high expectations. And then when they don't reach them, we now say, oh, give them a bit of leeway. Josh, like you were saying, Schmeichel is a good keeper. He's probably, top 5 in the league, arguably. Top 5 in the league. Their midfield is arguably top 3 in the league. They have one of the best strikers in the league. They have one of the best centre-back pairings in the league.
One of the best strikers in the league?
Yes.
Jamie Vardy is one of the best strikers in the league.
He's a
Apart from this
Jamie
season,
Jamie
but
Vardy.
generally speaking, yeah.
Yes,
Are you saying
Jamie
Jamie
Vardy.
Vardy right now?
Bro,
Jamie Vardy is one of the best
coming
strikers
into
in
the
league.
season, he was top 5
Saying him.
Yeah,
in the league.
100%.
He easily top 5 coming into the league.
I
And
thought
this
you were
season,
saying
I mean, even
Iheanacho. I
despite
thought you were saying Kelechi.
no, I wasn't talking about Iheanacho. I was talking about Vardy. Their midfield, one of the best in the league. The centre back pairing, one of the best in the league. So you can't literally look at all these things and be like, yes, I know they don't have a good squad depth, but to me, squad depth is when you've obviously focused on like title and stuff like that. But in terms of like, I don't know. I really do. A lot of people think Leicester were overachieving, and to me, I just never saw it that way. I think that they should be in the position where they should be finishing in top 4. And I don't know why they did not. They just come to the final end of the season and they just bottled him. And to be fair, also the manner in which they're doing it is just very like, if they weren't in the top 4 at all, okay, they couldn't even. But the fact that they're always there, and like when it comes to the final stages, that's when the whole team just collapsed and stuff like that. I don't really get it, to be fair. But yeah. You can move on to Carl.
Yeah, Carl, what's your thoughts on the whole Brendan Rodgers bottle job thing? Do you agree with it?
Yeah, I have to say I agree with it. But same way, I'm not going to slander Leicester too much because I heard they can keep the FA Cup and all that kind of stuff. But same way, it was a complete ball job, 100% complete ball job. So in the situation they was in, they had it all in their hands. Like for me, I respect Leicester to an extent. I think the midfield three being crazy, like Tielemans and Didi and obviously Madison, all that. They had it all in their hands, and to lose like that how they did against Tottenham, you can't. It's not acceptable. No matter if it was a mid-table team. Anyway, they're still a Premier League club, regardless. I know they're not in the same situation. I see what Dan's saying. To be fair, they're not in the same position as say like I know Chelsea not great, but if you look at some of the bench that Chelsea have and all that kind of stuff, that they can bring on big players. But same way, you have to ask questions. To be honest, Brendan Rodgers done a good job, but he can't throw it away like that. If they're trying to progress as a club, and as I already said, people are saying that they're overtaking Arsenal or Tottenham in the Big Six, whatever they call it. Come on, man. That's not Big Six behavior.
I mean Spurs. Let's be honest. Spurs. What have Spurs done to earn their place in the top 6 above Leicester?
They played in the Champions League. That's it.
Played in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Leicester have won the league and the FA Cup in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
Spurs have won nothing in 30.
And you got to look at the top 6 is mostly about the financial side, and Leicester nowhere close to it.
And I mean historical as well.
Are Spurs a historical club?
I mean, historically, they are more successful than Leicester comfortably.
I mean, historically, Aston Villa are more successful than most teams. Nottingham Forest are more successful, but I don't think that's. I think performances now is more relevant, especially with teams like Man City in the top 6.
Yeah.
Let me get Sarah's view on it. So, Sarah, what's your thoughts on the whole Brendan Rodgers bottle job tag? I remember you were on his ass at the start. I remember, and then you kind of you were quiet.
Yeah. I gave Leicester their credit because they were starting to there was over reliance on Jamie Vardy in it, and like they got Yuri Tielemans, Harvey Barnes, James Maddison on it. But I see they knew from last year they needed to improve their squad, and they improved it. But they had injuries that carried on into this season, and then they picked up more injuries halfway through the season. So I get what you guys are saying in terms of like expectation and reality. Jamie Vardy, he's been rubbish since January, and actually Ian actually stepped up. They had like a 9-point lead as well, which that's quite poor to get that overturned. I don't know. I don't think people realize like getting into the top 4 is tough. Like you're not just like. You're gonna get in there maybe 1 year, but then you're gonna plummet down because you just ain't got the squad, you ain't got the financials or nothing. And you can tell like some of their players, they don't know how to. Some of the games they can't see them out properly. Like I've seen, and I battered Rodgers for this. I was like, you don't really have a style of play. Sometimes you are literally just winging it, and that's my critique. And I see next season them struggling as well. Moving on to Brendan Rodgers, I think. It is becoming a bit telling that every single club he goes to, he does well to a certain level, and then when it comes to the tough games, the cup competitions, he apart from maybe the FA Cup and the Celtic Cup, whatever it was, Scottish Cup, he's not really He's not really done it too well, and he needs to start. I don't know, like when he talks about his team's deficiencies, he talks about, oh, we had Johnny Evans out, or he's very arrogant about how they played. You need to look at the facts. The squad is still improving, and you're a work in progress. And to become a top 6 side, it's going to take a few years for you to establish yourself there. So, and they have some big decisions to make this summer as well. Like, Wes Morgan's leaving, they're going to need another centre back. Cengiz Under's going to leave, so they need to make some investments. And it could be a cycle over and over again, because they're going to be in Europa League again, and people are going to expect them to go further.
Yeah, I hear that for real, man. Denzel, what's your thoughts on the bottle job tag?
They're definitely ball jobs, 100%. 100% they're ball jobs. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you 3 different results. Okay, I'm gonna go to the 4-2 loss against Newcastle. At that point, you're sitting comfortable in the top 4. All you need to it's in your hands, and I'm gonna keep on using this phrase. It's in their hands, because for the majority of the season, top 4 has been in their hands. Even this final game, it was in their hands, and they bottled it. Okay, so you need to beat a struggling Newcastle side, who at the time were battling relegation. I think most of the teams were relegated at the time, but still a very poor Newcastle side, and you lose 4-2 to them. Okay, cool. We all lose to small teams. Well, not small teams. I won't disrespect Newcastle by calling them a small team. They have a lot of history, but we all lose to teams that we shouldn't lose to. Fair enough. Cool. Now you have a top 4 decider per se against Chelsea, and it's just the way they played was very naive. I think it was poor. It was naive, and so they go and they lose against Chelsea, the team that's battling you for a top 4 position. Play very, very poorly against them, get dominated by Chelsea. Okay, come to the final game of the season. You're 2-1 up. Chelsea are losing against Aston Villa. Aston Villa have done you a favour and basically giving you a pass. There you go, Champions League football. There, it's there on the plate for you. There you go and take it. What do? You lose 4-2. No one can tell me that this team has not bottled top 4. And it's not like they've done it once. They did it last season as well. The whole of last season, they were comfortably sitting in the top 3. And they bottled it. They finished 5th. Again, this season, they've been comfortably sitting in the top 3 for the majority of the season. It's not even like they've been in the top 4 comfortably for the whole season. They've been top 3 comfortably for most of the season. And they haven't qualified for Champions League football. So you can't do the same thing twice and then people will excuse it. No, I'm not having this whole, Leicester aren't supposed to be there anyway. That narrative, I'm not hearing it, because you've been top 3 for the past 2 years. You've been in the top 3 for the majority of the time, and you haven't qualified for Champions League. So they're ball jobs.
I know. I definitely agree. They're both top 4. I definitely do. I think the fact that they won the FA Cup does take away from the idea that they're bottle jobs, because they did manage to hold their nerves to win a trophy, innit? And obviously, the team that we always compare Leicester really to is Tottenham, in terms of they had a 5-year run where they were constantly getting top 4. But what did they really have to show for it? At the end of the day, it's all good. This is where it gets dangerous. And me and Dan have this conversation a lot about top 4. Top 4 isn't a trophy. There's nothing tangible about top 4. It is very good financially to get top 4, and it allows you to attract players, and it does elevate you to another level. But there's nothing tangible. You can't hold it. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Leicester have won the FA Cup, they're in the Europa League, where you can say that is currently their level. If they get further in the Europa League, then get into the Champions League and get knocked out of the group stages, I feel like getting further in the Europa League serves a better purpose than going to the Champions League and getting knocked out in the group stages, in my opinion. Obviously, we don't know if they would get knocked out of the Champions League, but I don't know if they're ready for the Champions League yet. And probably being in Europa League is probably a better level for them in order for them to step up, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay,
People
I
overvalue top 4, man. People overvalue top 4.
Because
People are treating it like a trophy.
I think every one of us have said is right. They have bought top 4. It's poor for them that they've been in the top 4 for so long and they've not got it. At the same time, they're not bottle jobs. They're not bottle jobs in the totality, like a Spurs, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? but they still have stuff to improve on. They're still growing, in my opinion. And I think the key thing is, I think especially with Arsenal fans, I see the bitterness in terms of that they say that they've replaced you, even though we know they haven't. They're not a top 6 club in terms of their, how would you say, in terms of their expectation or the aura around them, but
can I ask you a quick question?
You can still critique them. Yeah.
Okay, I know Dan said the squad is bad. Overall, as a team or as a squad, okay, do Leicester have a top 6 squad in England? Do they have a top 6 squad? Like, is their squad
maybe the starting
in the top
the starting
6?
11? Yeah, the starting
I'm
11.
talking about yeah.
We're
Okay.
starting maybe like 15 players.
Starting,
That, like, come in.
Yeah. So the majority of their squad. So okay,
It's improved. It's improving from last year, definitely.
it's a top 6 squad because if you have a good solid 15 players in that squad,
for
right?
sure, yeah.
So I would say it's
in
a
the top
top
6.
six, but
Who
not
is it
top
better
4.
than in the top 6?
They're not top 4. It's I think their squad in totality is probably better than Arsenal's. I'd be honest.
I'd say
Arsenal's
same
squad-
level as Arsenal.
Arsenal's squad right now is quite poor.
A lot of squads are better.
Ah.
I think
Yeah,
I
that's
put
what I'm
them
saying. Leicester's better than
Even-
Arsenal, but Leicester's is not top 4 though. The
Even
top
though
four-
I'm gonna be honest here, they're starting 11. I think it's more balanced than some teams that have finished
more
higher. than
balanced or better.
more balanced and better because look at their defensive partnership of they have 3 in rotation, so they have Fofana, they have Evans, and they have Sionchu. Yeah, that's better than Man United's defense.
Mm.
That's better than Man United's defensive rotation. Liverpool, obviously, they've had their injuries. Fully fit Liverpool, I don't think theirs is better than that. Chelsea,
fully fit Liverpool defense.
I said that's what I said.
Liverpool's
I'm fully fit. I said Liverpool's fully fit defense is better than Leicester's. That's what I said.
I
I wasn't comparing them. No. That's what I said. So, but you can go through. And Chelsea, what are we saying about Chelsea? Do we think
Chelsea's defense
Chelsea
is
have-
better than Leicester.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
They
it
have
depends how you look at it. Are you looking at it from a
Yeah.
2-man defense or a 3-man?
No, I'm looking at their defensive options. Their centre back pairing options.
Chelsea
'Cause
have
I think-
a lot of decent enough options. Like Thiago
Chelsea
Silva.
are
yeah.
Tottenham and Arsenal's.
Yeah, Chelsea are probably better in terms of like. I don't think they really
Chelsea are
have.
better.
No, you have-
Yeah, Chelsea are better.
So
Chelsea
you
are
say
better.
Chelsea, but the thing with Liverpool, overall defensive options, do they have a better rate than Leicester? Because we've seen
I mean-
Virgil van Dijk and Gomez, and they're in tatters now.
Matip's good. Matip's good.
Yeah, my
Okay.
tip's good.
Okay, we can
And
argue Liverpool
that's
probably have
three.
a better defensive rotation. So
You know what?
that's 2, including C. So that's 3 clubs that have better defensive rotation. You have the 4th best defensive rotation in the league. Okay, so
Well, that's just
there's that.
centre backs. That's not.
No, but their
Right.
fullbacks
Yeah,
are good as
even
well.
their
though.
fullbacks as well. Even
Their
their
fullbacks are
fullbacks
very
as well. Yeah. Out of defensive
Yeah.
rotation,
When we go
they have a
forward-
top
when we
4
go
defensive
forward,
rotation.
When we go
Like,
forward, Leicester's
Pereira's
wingers
basically
must
been-
be the worst in the top 6.
In my opinion, the midfield is the most important aspect of a team.
100%.
So, unless I think Leicester have the second best.
That's what I was gonna get onto
100%.
as well. Yeah,
Second,
Yes.
second,
they
third.
have,
How
they have
often
a
do they
very,
fit
very
together, though?
balanced.
Like,
How often
before
do
we
fit
go on,
together?
hey,
Are
Carl,
you
I want
talking
Carl
about
to
the double
speak on that.
pivot? Or are you talking about with Maddison as well?
Wait. I want Carl to speak a bit more. 1 sec, yeah. What are you saying, Carl? You saying that the
Me?
midfield balance?
The midfield is criminally underrated. Just because they're not big names, people for some reason think they're not to the same ability as, for example, playing the level as like Man United, Man City. I'm telling you, people think it's wild, but players like Tia Lemons, if they was in Man City's team, they would be regarded as God's
Yeah, they would, they would.
But Tia Lemons would be regarded.
Wait. One
Yeah,
sec.
go on.
You're talking about balance, the whole midfield options, or just
No,
the starting 11?
Both.
That's
both.
The balance is
Yeah.
no. It's
Balance
only
is trash.
Tielemans and Ndidi.
Ndidi.
Madison, he's okay. He's not that good.
But Madison
He's
hasn't
not-
played enough games to really be counted as
And-
like
and
the
let's
midfield
put-
three.
Let's have it
Pratt
right. Let's
and
have it right.
then come on, man.
And Pratt,
Let's have it right.
Nicholas
How many times do they
Mendy,
play together?
Chowdhury.
How many times are all 3 of them fit together? A season?
Barely.
Okay, but
So-
Ndidi and Tielemans are usually fit though. So
Yeah.
And Didi gets long injuries quite a lot.
Ndidi
Both-
gets injured.
2 seasons in a row he's had long injuries.
this season he hasn't had a serious injury.
Yeah, he did. At the start, he had a long injury.
At the start, but then he played a couple good games. He played like a decent amount of number of games this season. At least I think he
But
played.
for a
up
team
to-
like Leicester, they can't afford that because they have Hamza Chowdhury or Mendy starting.
Hmm. And you know, it's cost them a little bit as well because they've been getting tired over the last couple of weeks, which is understandable. But they were tired.
I mean, apart from
Especially
this
against
season,
Chelsea.
and Ndidi plays a lot, man. 32, 38, 33, and then 17. No, he's there a lot of the time. Just this season.
I agree with Ori, man. I think their midfield options. I think they're second.
Yeah, but having options doesn't mean your squad's good. Like having
The
loads of
whole
options doesn't
midfield-
mean
We're breaking it.
that doesn't mean the squad's good.
We're breaking
No
it down.
options,
We're
no
breaking
options,
it down.
no options,
So
no
we're-
options. Just starting
Okay,
three.
just
Just
okay.
saying
They're
Options?
midfield
What
three.
the hell?
Three.
Come on, man.
Okay, we're breaking it
there are
down.
still
Yeah,
options if you count it that, but not like
we've started from the defense. We've said they have a top 4 defense. Yeah. Okay, we've gone through the midfield. Okay, we can agree. We can agree to disagree, but I think top 3 we'll say.
No.
wait.
So we're looking at the core of their teams, and they have a top 4 core in most areas, and they're not qualifying for top 4. What's
But we've
going on?
explained why though, because of the depth and because they were playing in Europe as well this year. Europe injuries, no depth. Give them next season, and then look. If this season they invest and they get a couple players to bring into the squad, I've seen
They've invested
Soumare's
already.
looking.
Yeah.
I've
And
seen
you can
Soumare's
clearly
looking to
see
come in. If they get Odson
Rodgers-
Edward as well, then next season they don't make top 4. I'll be with you. 100%. I'll be with you. They're bottle jobs. But this season, just because they haven't got that depth, I'll give them this season only. This is the last year I'm giving.
Well, you can say the same
for
about
me-
last season too, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
for me,
But last
You
season
know-
again.
you know-
Wait. One at a time. Carl, then Dan.
Sorry.
I'll say for me, unpopular opinion, but I think when you're playing at the highest level, saying injuries, squad depth, for me, it's all excuses. For me personally, like for me, they're still a established Premier League side. Like I know I do get his point that the players are not the rotation is not at the level of say like a Man City or so. But same way, when you're in the team that's starting 11 for Leicester, you got to put in performance. Like they're still under a great manager as well. But for me, I don't think injuries should be used as an excuse to that extent. Like they've still had players in the side for the whole season, and that's been seen through the big performances. I'll say.
Dan. Wait, Sam, you go next. Right?
No. It's gonna like what Carl said. So like, obviously, yeah, they're not expected to have like an amazing squad, but you can tell Rodgers doesn't trust the players that he brings on or that come into the play. Like he has to play Albrighton at wing back, and like when he has to play Napolis Mendy and Chardry, that's a huge downgrade on the rest of them. Like Denzel, you get so annoyed when like I don't know Matic and what is it?
Matic has barely Matic has barely played this season. What are you talking about? I'm talking about
So Rodgers knows.
I know he's going to.
Like Rodgers knows that the backups just ain't good enough, so he can't rotate.
I'm not buying it, man.
It's just 2 seasons as well. Like they've only had two seasons in this position, really.
Only had 2 seasons. Come on, man.
What do you mean only?
Come
The amount of clubs that get into like the top 5 or top 4.
You said
and then they
only
just
2
smack down
seasons.
again.
They've bottled it 2 seasons straight. They've been comfortable top 3. Everyone has been whack, and you've still bottled top 4. I'm not having it. Like, I don't get why people are making excuses for them.
Hey, they both top 4 in my opinion. As simple as, but it's not the end of the world. It's not a bad thing, and it doesn't take away from what Rodgers has done. Still done a great job at Leicester. I want to talk about United now. United come second now. How many points you got? How many points you got, Denzel?
I think we finished on 74.
So you got 66 of the season before that. So
So it's
that's an
improvement.
8-point swing. 8-point swing.
Yeah.
So what are you saying for United this season?
Honestly, I think the ending, towards the end of the season, it was disgusting. Like, apart from this Wolves win, we went on a run where we didn't win a couple games, and it got on my nerves because I feel like we actually could have made. Obviously, City ran away with the league. Cool. We could have made it a bit tighter. There were results when I look back. It was silly results like the loss against Sheffield gets on my nerves a lot. Obviously the loss against Leicester people say the excuse of second team, whatever. It was still a loss. We lost against Leicester, lost against Liverpool. We drew against Fulham as well. It's just results like that, and obviously the abysmal start. I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but I think the start was one of our worst starts to a Premier League season ever. It might have been our worst start to a Premier League season. It's just when I go through the season, there's a lot of things that I don't like. There's a lot of things that if we didn't drop unnecessary points, we could have been really challenging City for the title. So it's a decent season. Europa League would be the cherry on top of the cake, or the icing on the cake, whatever you want to call it. I've been clear that I'm not really too fussed about Europa League. But a trophy would be nice. So yeah, it's been an okay season. I'm not over the moon, but.
So I'm just gonna go through team by team now. So Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, because I want us to get into the England squad prediction. So let me start with West Ham. How much did you win by today? I didn't even keep track of the score.
3-0.
3-0. How many points you got? Record points?
Yeah, 65. 65. It was 62
decent.
Before.
That's decent. So what's your general thoughts on the season? Lads on tour, innit?
Lads on tour. Going to be playing Juventus next season. I don't mind. Started off rubbish. We lost against Newcastle and Arsenal. Then, obviously, Moyes was, stinking out the place, playing 5 at the back every week. And I was like, oh, God, here we go again. Relegation battle looming. I was like, okay, top 10. And then, he brought in Jesse Lingard. Dawson came in. Soufal and Souček. Brilliant signings. Just a change in the philosophy, the way we're playing. We're not just like a counter-attacking team. Like today, for example, we outpossessed Southampton, which, like in the first half of being in particular, most teams don't do that against Southampton. We're a lot more unpredictable, and we're just picking up the dirty wins, the wins that you don't expect us to get, and beating the teams below us and around us, which has helped us a lot this season. The goals have been spread around. No one's really like we've done really, really well in terms of goals, but it's telling that everyone's like contributing. Going forward, we probably need to improve in our squad, which is what I was going to say about Man United as well. Maybe if you had a few more options, you might have been a bit closer. But yeah, very, very, very good season.
So do you see like sustainability under Moyes going into the future, or are you worried that the bubble's going to burst?
Honestly, exactly. Like we're going to get money from Europa League, and I just don't see like him getting the like complete backing onto. Like hopefully he gets to pick the players he wants, like he did with Souček and Soufal and Jesse. Like we need a few more bodies, because there's no way Declan Rice and Souček can play every single minute in 2 competitions of Premier League next season again. It's unheard of.
That's if Rice is still down.
I'm hearing rumors, man. I'm hearing links.
Yeah,
it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good.
Like we need backups regardless, man. We have holes in our team. Like we're playing a right back up front and a winger up front. Like, yeah, we shouldn't have sold Haller, to be honest. I think we shouldn't have sold him. We should have sold him in the summer, maybe.
Is there any particular target strip, like right now, that you're looking at and you're saying we have to go out for him?
Like straight up, like El Naziri banging in the goals for Sevilla. In midfield, like Sheffield are going down, so Sanderberg, like he'll be that cheap as well. So I want him in midfield. And then a left back as well. But I'm looking around. I'm thinking maybe, don't know, maybe just some guy. I think he's going to go Championship, to be honest, because he likes Championship. David Moyes. That's what he did at Everton as well for a good few years. So yeah, maybe a couple of signings, 2 or 3 signings, but definitely 2 strikers we need. So Tammy Abraham on loan, I think looks possible. I mean, he's been linked with everywhere, innit? Tottenham, Palace, but yeah, strikers and a central midfielder.
100%. Let's go on to Tammy's team, Chelsea. He wasn't even on the bench today, bruv. It was mad. Hey, this season, yeah, Carl, you can agree, is you can't look at it in like one totality way, innit? It's been a mixture of 2, innit? So you got to look at it from the start with Lampard, which was disastrous, and you got sacked as he deserved, and then you got to look under Tuchel. Yeah. So under Lampard, it started off shaky, then we went on a run, and then it went shaky again, and then he got sacked. And that's how it was really under Lampard. There was good points and there was bad points. And then Tuchel came in and he did an incredible job to get us back, because I know there was a time where people were like, I don't think we can even get top 4, but he put us in contention. But you still also have to, even though he's been doing so well, you still can look at there's weaknesses, and you can't really expect him to have made his perfect team. He barely has any time in training. We play every 3 days, but we've seen the creativity side of it, how we don't create many chances, and when we do, we don't have a gunman up top. That's not a fault of his that we don't have a gunman, but you could say the creativity is partly down to him. But again, you understand context-wise that he hasn't had his players and he hasn't been there for a whole year or pre-season yet. So no matter what, even the Champions League loss and the FA Cup loss, if that was to happen, you can't take away the fact that he has done a very good job so far. If he won both, those will be the icing on the cakes. But the fact that we've lost the FA Cup, you have to win the Champions League now, because two final defeats is unacceptable. So
He has to.
yeah, man. But Tuchel's done a very good job so far. People need to calm down. Like, let's see what next season brings in it. But he's put plenty of credit in the bank for himself. But yeah, Carl, what's your thoughts on this season?
No, it's been an eventful season. So obviously we've had the start. Like, I'm not gonna disrespect Lampard, but we had obviously our period under Lampard, but it wasn't gonna work out. And I think that was very clear to anyone that could see from like the bigger view. It wasn't gonna work out. Lampard is way too early in his career. But so obviously we came under Tuchel, and it is against odds because people wasn't backing Tuchel at the start, and he's done a very good job. And the thing is, I've heard, you see how our defense is sorted out. Apparently, he only spends 10% of his time on defense. So it's crazy to think that now our defense is looking solid. We have Thiago Silva, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think in the recent weeks we've been very poor, extremely poor. I don't think we were so close to bottling top 4, and let's not get twisted. Tottenham bailed us out, literally. Like, we would have bottled top 4 today. And imagine bottling top 4, bottling Champions League final and the FA Cup final. That's disaster. But the same way, I have to look forward into the Champions League final. He's done a great job to get us there, but there's a lot of deadwood in our club that needs to be cleared out, if I'm being honest. But
Name them. Name and shame.
Name and shame. Timo Werner is not the striker to move forward. First of all, he's not the striker. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. In midfield, it's not working. It's not working. I'm all here for all the players, but it's just, we just need some creativity. I'm gonna name a shame here. Mason Mount, he's not Messi. He's not Messi. He's not Messi. Mason Mount is not Messi. We need someone creative wise. We are doing absolutely nothing. We are doing absolutely nothing. Hey, the thing is, English media has made people think Mason Mount is now some sort of god. He's not.
I swear you rate Jorginho.
I do.
Oh, that is a howl.
But it's a different.
Dan.
Nah, it's different. It's different. Mason Mount is a good player, but we need creativity. We need a Jadon Sancho, someone that can come in the right wing and actually do, like, put in. If you watch Chelsea, you see the problem is it's not from defense and it's not from possession wise. It is creating those extra chances and being clinical as well. If you look at the goal stats and stuff, we do need a winger and a striker, or someone just in there, in and around. Mason Mount, good player, but same way, we can't be relying on him like we do. I think it's a similar situation with Mount and Saka as well. Like, people will laugh, obviously, because people think Mason Mount is a very good player. He may be, but is he the player that everyone's thinking he is? Thinking he's some sort of god that can carry Chelsea to Champions League finals and do all this and that? And he's not. But yeah, good season overall though. That. If I'm naming Shaman more, Kepa gotta go. Mendy's not the answer as a keeper. Bringing Donnarumma. Correct. Bringing Donnarumma.
Chelsea are in some good position. What the hell?
What?
Exactly.
Mendy's been solid, man. Come on.
He's not the answer for
Some
the
of your
long
takes are wild.
Oh my man.
Yeah, nah. If Ori is here, you laughing?
Emerson, innit, and Alonso. You want to get
Emerson,
rid
No,
of
Alonso,
there's a lot more deadwood that's got to go.
Emerson,
Like
Alonso,
Barkley,
Goodbye.
Bakayoko, these guys
Tammy
are
Abraham.
deadwood.
Loftus shit. You got loads of players out on loan every year.
Yeah,
So
Tammy
you
Abraham.
got
It's cool.
Tammy
Loftus
Abraham,
Cheek's gonna get sold.
Please. Tammy Abraham, go.
Ethan Ampadu, like all these players.
Yeah, I
No,
can
you
name
got
like
alone.
30 players, but you get the gist.
Mm.
Must be
Man
nice
said
having
you-
options.
No, I can't. I gotta address this. Yeah, why? Even though Mason Mount, I do agree what you're saying. Mason Mount isn't an elite level player, but I do feel like I don't know why people go to him straight away when they name players. Like I don't know why, especially Chelsea fans. He's always. I don't know, man. It's like maybe it's because of Twitter. You know what? I get what you're saying. Twitter probably holds him to a level that he's probably not at yet, but I don't know why people look at him as the guy yet. Like he's a very good player, but
It's the media.
like Carl, huh?
It's the media, bro. Imagine.
Are you
I'll give you the perfect example. Do you want the perfect example? The Leicester game. Rudiger put in the best centre-back shift I've ever seen this whole season for Chelsea. He put in the best individual player performance I've ever seen in this season for Chelsea. Who got man of the match on stupid Sky Sports?
Oh, you're talking about Leicester. Oh, yeah.
In car in a Chelsea shirt in his years at Chelsea.
You sound like a Twitter hooligan, bro. You
Mason
sound like
Mount.
a
Yeah, for real.
hooligan.
Hey, Mason Mount got man of the match against
I
Leicester.
can't lie. I think people overgas Rudiger's performances at times. It's because he gets into beef with some players.
Yeah,
and people get
Exactly. You
aggressive.
like him. You like him.
I
That's
can't lie.
why.
It wasn't that amazing, bro.
They can't lie. It was hype.
People hype Rudiger a bit too much at times. Like I get because people love the shithousery in it. That's why they love him so much. But some of his performances, like, they're good in it, but they're not like, they're not like unbelievable in it. They're very good though.
Also,
Yeah, but
I
I was gonna say the reason why Mount is getting all this hype is because of who else are you gonna give it to, man? Your top goal scorer is on 7 goals with Jorginho, and I think is it all of them? If not all of them, all of them have been penalties. So who's gonna get the credit? Who's gonna get the shine? Who are you gonna give it to? It has to be Mount. Come on.
What I'm saying, I rate Mason Mount. He has been our best player. It's just that I feel like people try and gun for him a bit too much now at times, like with the way they try and say, oh, he's not this, he's not that. He's still done very well. And like you were saying, we shouldn't rely on him, like the Arsenal thing. We shouldn't rely on him, but just let the guy develop anyway. He's still young anyway. So that's how I look at it. But let's go on to Saka's team as well. You came 8th, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
8th, isn't it?
8th,
So,
61 points.
yeah, what's your thoughts on the season, man? We spoke about Arsenal a lot, but let's get the final thoughts in it.
Where do I start? It's nowhere near good enough. Nowhere. If we're being honest, there's no way he should have his job. There's no way. Like, there's nothing redeemable that you can say about this season. There's nothing good. The only thing redeemable maybe is that Saka has developed into a very good player. Smith Rowe has broken through. But apart from that, I mean, Tierney had a couple of good games, but apart from that, yeah, I don't think anyone can be proud of this season. Not one of our players, really. I think the only positive I can say is that we're not in the Conference League, because playing away in Bulgaria and Lithuania and Liechtenstein on a Thursday night is not where we want to be. Hopefully next year we can reinvest, and maybe without Europe we might improve, but we'll see. With the manager in charge, I don't harbour much faith.
Nah, I hear that, man. Ori's not here to talk about Arteta. So
Defender.
maybe next time he'll be on. And I mean, we'll talk about Arsenal another time in the next season. You know, the ones we've spoken about Arsenal a lot this season, isn't it? So
More than everyone else, to be honest. So.
it is what it is, man.
Arsenal's always a big talking point, man. Always. There's never nothing banterous going on at Arsenal. You can always rely on Arsenal to provide comic relief for the league.
Yeah, no
Don't worry, Laka will get a 3-year contract. He'll be all right.
Or didn't even conquer Tottenham this year. What happened, man? Didn't even have that celebration.
Bro, Spurs. The fact that they were even competing with us shows how shit they were, man. They were horrible.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
Yeah, that's a good segue to Spurs, maybe. But
Well, what was our thoughts on Spurs? I mean, 1 point they were title challengers, next minute they were struggling.
Capitulation.
There's not really much to say in it. They just had a poor season,
Yeah.
really.
Very, very cool. They had a Tottenham season.
Yeah.
It's mad they had Jose at one point now. It feels like Jose was a long time ago now. Mad. Who's the other two? City. And you talk about City, really, they were the most consistent side, didn't it?
Yeah,
That's
they
so
won the
bad,
league.
man.
No one cares about City though, man. They won the league. No one cared, man.
Yeah, won the league. Deservedly so, innit? Big them up, innit? So,
Yeah.
there was Liverpool as well. Liverpool managed to get top 4 now.
Get these guys out of here.
With Reece
Oh,
Williams and
like-
Matt Phillips at centre back.
Bro, you have to give it to Liverpool, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to them. Done.
And their squad was depleted. Unlike the certain bottle jobs in blue over in the Midlands, they actually did their job. So I have to give respect to Liverpool, man. As much as I hate them.
Fair enough.
I mean-
Man, fair enough. What were you gonna say, Sarah?
No, it's only like it's always been depleted until this season, but that's a story for another day. People
Apparently,
fail to
they're
realise.
Yeah.
No, they just roll out the same starting 11 for 3 years straight. What can you expect?
But some of their transfer targets are looking promising. Apparently, they're looking at Konate.
I think that's
Sancho.
not confirmed, but
I think Leipzig are trying to trying to get him a new deal, but
Nah, I think Konate, that one's gonna happen. I think that one's gonna happen. The Sancho one, we'll see what happens.
that's not happening.
We'll talk about transfers later. I feel like he'll come United personally, but
So no Kane to United.
I don't think Kane to United is happening. I think if we sign Kane, they'll just sign Kane. They're not gonna sign anyone else. They'll use the Kane thing to try and act like they've done well in the transfer window, but they'll just sign Harry Kane because it's such a big signing. But in reality, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Well, if they do sign Kane, that is a very big transfer, though. That's
it's a
huge
good signing. I'll take it. That's a very, very good signing. But if you just sign Kane and don't address our CDM issue, our centre back issue, then I'm pissed.
Rolling out like Fred.
You need another right back as well, bro, because
apparently we're looking at Trippier.
Replace Wan-Bissaka?
No, not to replace him, just to same thing with Tellers and Luke Shaw.
Nah, he should replace Wan-Bissaka anyway.
Whip some balls into the box.
I'm joking.
I'm not joking.
No, you actually could replace Wan-Bissaka. Let's be honest.
Oh, get away, man! Louder. We want to replace the best defensive right back.
He's improved
in the world.
In the world,
I'll say it in the world.
Hey, we'll get onto Wan-Bissaka another time, bro.
We'll get onto options. It's good to have options.
We'll get into Wan-Bissaka another time.
He's not replacing Wan-Bissaka, man.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, he's not replacing him. He just plays differently.
Reece James.
You know what? We're talking about English right backs. Perfect segue into the England team.
Let's get onto it.
Man. Let's get onto it. Let's go goalkeepers. Dean Henderson. What are we saying about him now?
Yeah, he's starting, bro. Because the rest are shit.
Starting.
I just think goalkeepers are much man. They've all got downsides.
Yeah,
I did a squad prediction, but based on what Southgate would pick, not myself. Gareth Southgate has a love affair with Pickford, and it's gonna continue. He's gonna pick Pickford over Pope and Henderson, even though he shouldn't, but he will.
Wait, do you have this on you?
Yeah, I have what I think
same.
Man squad. What I think.
You can share if you want.
Okay.
Do you have it? Did you write it down or did you put on like
I have it on me. I wrote it down so I can read it out.
You can just say it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I think Southgate will pick. It's not what I would pick personally, but I think the goalkeepers will be Pope, obviously Henderson and Pickford. Defenders, Maguire, Stones, Mings, Shaw, Trippier, James, Chilwell. I think he'll sneak in Connor Cody because it's just weird like that. And Walker. Midfield, Rice, Foden, Mount, Henderson, Grealish. I think Bellingham will get a call up. Lingard and Ward-Prowse will probably. I just feel like he'll sneak in Ward-Prowse. And attackers: Kane, Sancho, Sterling, Rashford, Ings, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think that would be the 26-man squad.
Sounds pretty Southgate
Yeah,
esque.
yeah.
Okay, so Dan, you had it as well. You say yours
I had
as well.
23. I had 23, so there's 3 extra spots. But I've gone Henderson, Pope, Pickford, Walker, Trent, Trippier, Shaw, Chilwell, Maguire, Stones, Konza, and Tomori.
Konsa,
Yeah, from Villa.
he has. I feel like he should get a call up, but I don't think Southgate will pick him.
Yeah, but that's what I would go, to be fair. Midfield, Henderson, Rice, Phillips, Mount, Foden, Bellingham, and Grealish. And then up top, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Rashford, Sterling, Sancho. And then there's
Is
I
that-
think 3 extra spots.
Is that your 23-man squad or what you think?
Yeah,
Southgate
yeah,
would
but
do?
no, that's my one. But there's
Oh,
3
yeah,
extra
okay.
spots. Because when I done it,
Yeah,
there was
that's a good one,
23
yeah.
and now it's 26. So there'll probably be like Ings in there and some others.
Let's do a joint one now. So
Mm.
let's put together the ones that we think will go in. So in goal, put Henderson and
Pickford.
yeah. So
Those 3
That's
one.
pretty set.
that one is pretty set. Let's go defenders, left backs.
Luke
Shaw.
Shaw.
Luke Shaw has to go.
Shaw and Chilwell. Shaw and
Yeah,
Chilwell.
Shaw and
Yeah,
Shaw.
Shaw and
Yeah.
Chilwell.
That'll do.
So Shaw and Chilwell. Centre backs.
How many we doing?
Maguire,
Maguire,
Stones, Mings.
Is
I think
Maguire gonna
Mings
be
will
alright?
get
Is it?
Yeah,
is
Maguire
it
will be. He'll be
Yeah,
good
he'll
for the
be-
Euro.
yeah.
Yeah, he'll be good
Right.
for the Euro.
How many centre backs though? Because remember it's 26.
Just take 5 or something.
5.
6.
Yeah,
If he's gonna play 3 at the back, he'll take extra. So
I don't think he plays 3 at
unfor-
the back. Though. He'll get slaughtered for that.
yeah.
if
he's not
Maguire's
gonna-
if Maguire's not going, we're definitely not playing.
Maguire's
think Maguire's going. Maguire's going.
So Maguire, Stones. Who else? Who's the other 3? then?
Tyrone Mings will get a call.
He'll
up, I
go.
think.
Yeah.
Mings.
I put Walker and Gomez the other 2.
Is
Gomez
Gomez
is
gonna be
injured.
fit?
Oh,
He's injured.
I don't think Gomez is making it.
No, he's not. He's not going.
Yeah,
Is he
he's not
still
making
injured?
it.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
injured till then.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
him and Virgil van Dijk said they're not going. I don't think Van Dijk's
They're
going
not.
to the Euros as well.
No,
Yeah,
he's not.
he's
He's
not.
not.
So who's the
I
other 2?
think
He'll
Connor
probably take
Cody.
Connor Cody, bro.
I
He
think
shouldn't. Connor Cody should be nowhere near, but he'll still bring him.
See, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think like Ben Godfrey or
Bro,
what's it?
honestly, and
Like, Ben
Tomori.
Godfrey.
Konsa.
Like,
Konsa is hard, man.
we
He's
all
cold.
love watching Konza and Tomori because they're front foot defenders, and Godfrey's that like that as well. So any one of them,
Godfrey's
any
body.
2 of them would be good.
Any one of them. Will
I'll be
take.
real.
It's gonna go with Connor Cody though, because
I can't
it's
put Cody in the team. I can't put Cody in
He's-
the squad. I'm sorry. That's
No,
it's not what we
Southgate.
it's not what we think. It's
Because-
what Southgate will do.
But do you know
This
what I
is,
don't get? Yeah, even in a back 3, he's going to play Walker, Stones, Maguire. So Cody won't play. Personally, I just
He'll probably play him against Scotland.
He's not playing a back 3.
Yeah.
so
But Connor
So
Cody,
it's-
he's just mediocre, bro.
Are we gonna do 4 centre backs and then 3 right backs, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
do
put
that,
Walker as
do
one of
that.
the right backs.
so
Yeah.
Walker,
I think
Trippier,
Walker,
and
Trippier.
James?
Yeah. I think
James.
that's what- Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna take Trent. You know.
You like James a lot.
I don't know.
like
I
James,
think,
look.
He'll take
I
Trent.
think he has to.
He has to.
Yes.
I don't think he's.
Trent,
I don't
but
think he's
I
gonna
don't
take
think he
Trent.
no, I don't think he's taking Trent.
Reece James, this season, though, Reece James hasn't been consistently impressive.
He hasn't, but it's this Gareth Southgate we're talking about.
Yeah,
So-
I hear that, man.
We're not thinking with logic. We're thinking yeah, with something else. God,
Thinking
that
his
guy.
favourites.
He'll play Trippier
Yeah,
on left
man.
back if he has to.
Oh, do you know who he's bringing? You know who else he's
silliness.
bringing? He's going to bring Eric Dyer. I guarantee he brings Dyer.
Oh, if he
Oh,
brings
you
that,
know,
I'll lose
do
it.
not
I'll
bring
lose
that
it.
name up.
There's no doubt about
Do
it.
not
He's
bring
bringing
that
Dyer.
name up in front of me.
I'll
Mr.
I'll lose it.
Diabolical himself.
I don't. You know what? You know
God.
what it is. I don't think even Southgate can. He can't get away with that.
No, he
cannot
will.
get away
He'll
with
bring
that.
him. He'll bring
cannot
him.
get away with
Bro,
that.
Bro, what's his name? Deschamps brought in Sissoko. You can do anything you want, man.
Oh, but
Yeah, but
Sissoko actually has
Sissoko is a
job in that
seasoned
system,
international.
and he-
Like,
Sissoko,
Dyer
let's
is a
not lie.
seasoned
When Sissoko
international.
Hey, come on, man.
plays for France, he does his job.
Dan,
Yes or no?
When Dyer plays for England,
literally
Southgate
played
thinks
there
he
because
does his
we.
job.
He literally played DM because we had no DMs.
Bro,
We
he'll
have
bring.
Declan Rice.
he brings
Declan Rice
Dyer.
is right there, man. Come on.
He's bringing Dyer. He's bringing Dyer.
Do you know what I'm worried about? He might
Phillips and
take
Rice are
him
right
because
there, man.
Phillips and Rice, I still feel like he will take 3 and he'll want to take Dyer for some reason, just so he can cover both positions.
Huh? What'd you say, Carl?
Is Phillips like? Is he definitely going to go? Do you think?
Nah, I don't think he's
so.
nailed
Telling
on.
me right now, he might have got injured, you know. But
Oh,
We'll
really?
have a look.
I don't want to be harsh on Phillips, but he's another one. I personally
Mediocre.
It's
I mean,
true.
if we're
If you look at it,
if we're talking about
it's like-
systems which make
Oh, he
players
played
look
today.
good,
forget the
played today.
systems, man. Forget
no, but apparently he
systems.
got injured in the last minute. But we don't know how serious he is yet. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes anyway. To be honest, I don't think he goes.
Nah, he likes him a lot. He picked him when he was still in the championship, bro. He
Yeah,
likes
but I
this guy
don't.
a
I
lot.
just Southgate. I don't think he goes.
With the 26-man
issue
squad,
is,
he
yeah,
brings Phillips.
he
And
is
Ward-Prowse.
because
He needs
Henderson's not a DM.
CDMs. He needs
JWP
DMs,
is
so-
really a DM. So
But he's bringing
Rice.
Ward-Prowse anyway.
So,
bring it.
Yeah,
Phillips-
Ward-Prowse is-
so let's go on to DMs. Phillips. Who else? This is
Rice.
just the DM section.
Rice.
He's handed
And
back.
Dyer.
Yeah,
I don't think Dyer's going.
I guarantee he goes. I'll put money on it. He goes.
No, I'll take him out, man.
I don't think
I know he's
Southgate
going.
can do that,
I
man.
know he's going.
Oh, he's so unorthodox.
And I know why he's going. Like, trust me, I get it. Dyer's shit. But the reason Southgate brings him here is because we don't really have too many defensive midfielders like that. And Dyer
Exactly.
can cover centre back
Yeah.
and defensive midfielder. Not very well,
Yeah.
but he can cover them.
You can speak Portuguese and so decipher what the
Honestly,
Portuguese people are saying when we played them. So
Yeah,
that's
so
our
can
Portuguese
Konza.
midfielder.
So can Konza. We ot that sorted. Don't worry.
So
Konza
we've
can
got
speak Portuguese.
So who's
Yeah.
the other DMs? Henderson.
He's
innit?
handed back. Going to be back.
Henderson's not really a DM.
Yeah, Henderson will be in
Yeah.
the squad though.
Yeah, Henderson will go.
Henderson deserves to go. I can't lie.
Only 3
Yeah.
DMs basically. Then
Yeah, that's enough.
then CMs. What
Mason
we saying?
Mount.
Mason Mount.
Ward-Prowse.
Money Mace.
Manny Mace is going.
Yeah,
I'll take him myself.
Man,
Bellingham.
Bellingham, yeah,
No,
Bellingham.
whoa.
No, Bellingham's
take him,
going.
bro.
He's going.
I would
What?
He's going,
You
bro.
don't-
We're not saying-
He
We're not
dies.
doing
Are we
it
rushing
based
him?
on who-
Are we rushing him?
when-
though?
Listen.
Exactly.
We're not
We
doing
have
this.
no players in
We're
that
not-
position.
Listen. Look, we're not doing this based on what we think. We're doing it based on what Southgate will think. Southgate will probably have this idea like, oh, I need a little youngster in there to spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So he's gonna chuck in Jude Bellingham,
Nah, but-
so the people can be happy, so we can get hyped about the youngsters.
You guys
He's
are
gonna do something like that.
DM and
Bellingham will make the
centre
squad. I'm
midfielders are
telling
poor.
you.
You guys said Bellingham so quick, like.
Otherwise, it's Harry
Bellingham,
Winks.
he'll make the
Otherwise,
squad.
it's Harry
He'll make the
Winks.
squad.
What do you want?
Oh
I'm taking
my
Bellingham over
God.
Harry Winks.
Exactly.
Sorry, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm
He
saying.
said Harry
Bellingham
Winks.
will make the
Get
squad.
this
man.
guy out.
That's what I'm saying. That's the options we've got.
Nah, I'll be
Or
real.
John Joe Shelby or something. I don't
Oh my God.
know.
No,
so we got 19 players so far. So we got 7 left.
Wait, yeah,
what centre mid we got,
Foden
What
as
centre
well.
mid we
Foden's a cam though, isn't it?
yeah, 2 centimeters. That's
Do we count Foden as a winger or as a cam? No,
He's a
as centre
midfielder.
cam.
He's a midfielder.
Cam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same with
cam.
Grealish. Grealish can play both.
Same with Grealish.
What about Jesse Lingard?
Really.
Lingard gets in the squad.
I don't think he does, man. I don't think
Yeah.
he does.
Jesse
he does.
goes. Jesse
I don't think
goes,
he
man.
does.
Jesse Lingard gets in the squad.
He's a
Does he deserve to go? Does he deserve to go?
Yeah, he does.
Does Willock deserve to go?
Let's not do that. Come on, nah.
Serious question. Serious question.
Lingard's
question.
been good
I mean-
for months. Willock's been good for like.
I
what?
mean,
Lingard has one more goal than Willock.
Willock's a striker.
No, he's not.
he's not. No, he's
Wait,
not.
wait, is he not a striker?
That's a
Oh,
I don't watch him.
They
Wait,
play the
what
same
is
position. Exact same position.
He's a box
Okay,
to
yeah,
box.
that's a howler from me. That's a howler
Mate.
from me.
And
I
Willock
didn't.
scored
I
in the
can't lie. I
last
don't
7
watch
games.
Willock. I don't
He's
watch Willock.
Newcastle
He played in the last-
Suchek.
he scored in the last 7 games.
Wait. You're telling me Willock's a centre midfielder and is banging in that many goals?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Okay,
people
I
are
have to
gassed.
respect that. I can't lie. I thought, yeah.
Well, I
that's a
don't think
howler
either
for
of
me.
them should go. I don't think either of them should go.
No.
We have to plan the wingers, bruv, because I think we only
Nah,
got like 5
But the
spaces
thing
left.
That's
is,
my point.
the thing is with Lingard, he has international tournament experience, so
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he'll get him. Yeah,
This
he'll get
team
him
has
as
no
well.
experience, so
Lingard should
might-
be
we
definitely
might-
there over Ward-Prowse. Definitely.
We might have
Yeah,
to put,
Lingard will be in the
we
squad.
might have to put Lingard in, maybe, but we'll see. But Sancho's in there.
He's going.
Rashford,
Yeah,
mhm,
Sterling,
Sterling. Yeah,
mhm.
Grealish.
Kane. Yeah, Grealish.
Kane, Grealish, put him in. Yeah.
and one more striker.
Wait, what? The second striker is Danny Ings. Please.
How
I
about
think it
Lewin?
might be
Danny.
DCL.
No.
I think
He'll
it might be
pick
DCL.
Danny
we have
Ings.
3. Oh,
But I don't think we
No,
have
I
enough
feel like
spaces,
it's
man.
exactly.
1, 2,
how many
3.
spaces do we have?
So you've picked Pope, Henderson, Pickford, Shaw, Chilwell, Maguire, Stones, Mings, Cody, Dyer, Walker, Trent, James, Phillips, Rice, Henderson, Ward-Prowse, Mount, Bellingham, Foden, Grealish, Sancho, Rashford, Sterling, Kane.
How many is that? 20.
2, 3, 4.
What's Greenwood time?
7, 8, 9, 10.
Huh?
No, he's not going.
Mason Greenwood time.
Hey, don't say
He
that
should.
again.
He should get in. He
Don't
should get
mention
in.
that.
Oh,
Don't
he
mention
should get in.
that.
He should get in. He should
You
get
got
in.
one space
He
left.
should get in. One space
One
left.
space
I'll go to
I'll take
DCL.
Dyer out so we can take
Give,
another striker.
just
Yeah,
give it
take
to
out
Danny
Cody
Ings.
then.
Give it to
Take
Danny
out
Ings.
Cody
Dyer
then.
I'll
Take
take out
out
Cody.
Cody.
Take out
Ings, man,
Cody.
whatever.
I'll take
Take out
Dyer out.
Cody.
Take out Cody. Wait, we think
Yeah.
that Gareth Southgate isn't going to take Cody. We're
If
doing
the
this
squad's
based
this
on what
tight-
No, he will
This
take
is a
Cody. He's more likely to
prediction.
take Cody.
He's taking Cody.
It's either
If you
Cody,
say that.
Ward-Prowse, or Dyer. Which one is he not taking?
I think
Dyer.
Cody.
Dyer, because Dyer was
think
only
he
picked
takes
in the
Dyer,
last England squad. The squads before that, he weren't picked.
Exactly.
So
Dyer.
Dyer
I
wasn't
don't think
picked
he's going to
last
take him.
Was Cody picked last squad?
Yeah.
Cody's been picked in the last 4 camps.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we'll take out
Cody's
Dyer.
Dyer.
going.
Yeah, take out Dyer.
Okay. So who's replacing him then? Who's replacing Dyer?
Ings.
I think he's taking 3 strikers.
Ings.
He's taking Ings. man.
Ings.
He's going to take Ings.
Ings.
Ings
Ings,
and
Calvert-Lewin,
DCL.
and Kane. Are
It
strikers.
should be Mason Greenwood, but
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Wait, is Foden in the squad? Did we miss Foden?
Yeah, Foden.
yeah. No, we said
Foden.
Foden. We said Foden.
Oh,
Oh, this is a
Yeah.
final squad.
Did we say
This is a
Grealish? We
final-
said Grealish, right? We
Yeah,
said
we said
Grealish.
Grealish.
Yeah, we said all those. Said all
Let
those,
me,
yeah.
let me wrap it up. So the squad is in goal, Pope,
Mm.
Henderson, and Pickford. Left backs, Shaw and Chilwell. Centre backs, Maguire, Stones, Mings, Cody. Right back, Walker, Trent, James. We didn't say Trippier.
Did we not say
I thought
Trippier?
Trippier was the second one.
Trippier's
We
going.
said
Trippier's
Trippier.
going.
He said
Trippier's
Trippier.
got, but he's going to take
Yeah.
4 right backs.
No. Take
Oh,
out.
No, he's not taking 4 right backs. He'll
Hey,
take
don't worry.
Trippier and James.
I put Trent by accident. It's Trippier. Sorry.
Oh,
no,
no,
it's
yeah.
Trippier.
Yeah,
Taking
Trent
Trippier.
ain't going.
My bad. Let me say
Trippier's
it all again. Let me say it all again. My bad. So Pope, Henderson, Pickford, Shaw, Chilwell, Maguire, Stones, Mings, Cody, Walker, Trippier, James, Phillips, Rice, and Henderson, James Ward-Prowse, Mount, Bellingham, Foden, Grealish, Sancho, Rashford, Sterling, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, and Danny Ings. That's the squad that we've picked for England.
That's the squad that we think Southgate will pick.
Yeah, not what we would
I
pick.
Personally, not what we would pick.
This does not represent the views of football heritage.
Yeah.
Put disclaimer in
The
there.
mass population.
Yeah, man. Maybe another time we'll actually go in further detail about the season, reviewing it, because we didn't really go too deep into it. Obviously, there's
The season,
England.
to be fair, yeah, it's not really done for certain teams anyway. So.
Yeah. So maybe next week we might go real in depth with it. So you guys watch out for that. You guys know what to do. Make sure you hit the bell notification, bruv. But we're gonna end it off now. Who's our stars of the week for the last time this season, isn't it? Who's our stars of the week?
Gareth Bale, mate. Gareth Bale. Would they? Stephen Chelsea.
I know that one is
Elanga, man.
Michael, but
Yes, Elanga.
Elanga. Big him up.
Yeah, Elanga.
It's good today. So yeah.
I heard Dan James got an assist. Big him up as well. So
Top
you
baller.
got
Yeah, your favorite bowler, Josh. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta be fair with it, man. You gotta be fair with it. Big up Dan James, innit? Yeah, the other one's there.
Donny van de Beek on the wing, yeah? You said
Aguero.
No, I still have Donny over Dan James on the wing.
And Aguero.
Aguero.
Shout out Aguero, man.
Aguero, yeah.
Shout out Aguero.
Josh.
A brace on his last game.
I don't
No,
think
I
anyone
slapped
heard
Donny
what
over
Josh
Dan
said.
James
But
on the
nah,
wing.
man.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
not having
man.
Dan James,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
No.
We don't even
No.
need to go back into the debate. So
No, Dan,
yeah.
let's leave Dan James alone. He did well today, innit? So, them ones there. But yeah, man, that's the 2021 season. It went quick, man. It went quick, just like that. Yeah, this is the season that we began the podcast as well, innit? So you're gonna see a lot more from us, man. You're gonna see a lot more from us. Euro coverage coming up, man. So you're gonna see a lot of stuff, man. As I said before, hit the like, and hit the bell notification as well, so you can be up to date with all the content that comes out, man. But you guys, man, it's been a blessing this season. Been plenty of ups and downs. You know them ones right there. But the season's done, man. It's done for another time. We'll be back in August, I think. We start again. But till then, you'll see us for the Euros as well. We're looking forward to that, man. Next couple of weeks, you'll see us. We'll start doing our Euro countdowns and stuff like that. So there's a lot happening, man. There's a lot happening. But you know them ones. Another thing, big up Paul for coming on, man. Big up you.
Thanks for having me for this. It's been a good season, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a good season, bro. Hopefully, Champions League triumph. You see us all do a Chelsea show for that one. If it doesn't happen, then you won't see us at all. No, impossible. You know the ones. Incognito type of vibes. But yeah, you man. This is the last time you'll see us for the Premier League. Till then, catch you again. So hold it.